So this is my bottom review from the Denotay Wilder vs Chisora card, from the Tim Sue card, and from the Pat Brown card as well, and also from the Owen Price card as well. So, of course, Denotay Wilder edged out Chisora in a split decision brawl. It was not the best boxing you've seen in a while, is it? The thing is, it was entertaining, wasn't it? It was entertaining. It was a proper scrap between the two of them. Both of them were missing a lot of shots. Both of them were wasting energy. Both of them got tipped as well. Got tipped a few times as well. The referee was horrendous. The referee was absolutely horrendous in this fight. There was a few times where Denotay Wilder was robbed of a knockout victory. Round 8 especially. When Chisora went through the ropes. I'm sorry, the trainer. I know it will be a bad fall. I know it will be a bad fall falling backwards through the ropes, but the trainer should not be helping him get up. I don't think Chisora would have got up from that or made it in time to beat the count. So I actually think Denotay Wilder was robbed of an 8-round knockout, in my opinion. Of an 8-round knockout victory. But not just that, there was the first round shenanigans as well. The carry on that happened in the first round where both of them went over the top rope, and obviously I think it was Chisora's trainer, correct me from one, who came on in the win when the bell didn't go. And again, the rules do say that is, for me, that's a disqualification. That should be disqualification in the fight. If I was Chisora, I would have been damn fucking mental at my team member there. Why the fuck are you running in? Why are you running in the fucking running in the win? Obviously, Chisora. We all think Chisora's gonna retire now, and but yeah, for me, Denotay Wilder, the white man, won the fight. I thought Wilder won the fight for me. I thought he had the more keen, effective work, in my opinion. I think Chisora felt Wilder's shots more than Wilder felt Chisora's shots. I think Wilder took Chisora's shots quite well, didn't he? While Chisora, he was wobbling back a bit, wasn't he? When Wilder did land on Chisora. And it was the right decision for me. Definitely a close fight. It was definitely close on start cards, but Wilder definitely edged it for me. And I don't believe it was a split decision. I thought it should have been a unanimous decision in Wilder's favour. And yeah, quite impressive, to be fair, from Wilder, because, to be fair, I thought Wilder boxed quite well. Denotay Wilder. And we don't know Wilder as being a boxer, do we? He's just relies on that punch, doesn't he? He actually did box for once in that fight. But for me, it was the right decision. And I hope that is the end now for Chisora. Hopefully that is the end. I just feel, for me, that is one shot. I think he took too many shots, too many for me. For Chisora to continue. I think Chisora said after the fight with Steve Bunns that it was his final fight as well. Chisora has been an absolute icon, been an absolute British icon, British legend. He wasn't liked at first, was he? Chisora, but now he became more likable. He's a character. Obviously, the traditional fall dies happened then. Where he was handing fall dice burgers out to everyone. Chisora. So absolute character, quite emotional, isn't it? That we might not be seeing him anymore, Chisora. And that's the character we're going to use in boxing now. Obviously, he'd be around for all the events, won't he? Giving his opinion on who will win the future fights as well. So, while Denotay Wilder what next with Deontay Wilder? Well, him and Anthony Joshua walked past each other a few times, didn't they? Before the fight, when Wilder made his entrance to the arena, AJ and Eddie Hearn were just standing there. Wilder walked past them. Didn't look at each other. Well, Wilder didn't look at AJ. AJ looked at Wilder. Then after the fight, Anthony Joshua was signing autographs, and Anthony Joshua knows what he was doing. He knows what he was doing. He was purposely trying to take his time signing autographs, so he can bump into Deontay Wilder, which is what I want. That's what I want to see. And they had a bit of confrontation. Well, it was a quick confrontation between the two of them when Wilder walked past AJ. When they were looking at each other, Wilder said, "Yes, they are on." And it was quite cold, wasn't it? Quite cold, to be fair. And why not? I don't see why we can't make that fight next. We can't see why we can't make it next for me, because people will say it's a bit risky for Anthony Joshua to have a fight next, because Deontay Wilder will have that counter punch. But at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua will be favourite, will be huge favourite for that fight for me against Deontay Wilder. Joshua will fancy his chances, knocking him out. And it's the fight we've been wanting to see for years, hasn't it? Joshua versus Wilder. And I don't see any excuse now why not to make it. I think it should be made next for me. I think it's the perfect warm-up for Joshua as well, before going into a more bitter fight against Tyson Fury. Obviously, they're both big fights, but Tyson Fury's the big one, isn't it? That's the big one, isn't it? That we've all been calling for. And it's the only fights Joshua's not yet for me. It's the Wilder and Fury fights, in my opinion. They're the fights to make for me. And that is my thoughts on that main event. The co-main event, we saw a beautiful shutout masterclass performance from Fidel Wari, defeating Mateusz Masna to win the European Cruiserweight title. Not a shock at all. Not a shock at all, was it? To see that happening. I said in my preview, Fidel Wari would steal Masna, and he did. He did steal him. So beautiful to watch, isn't he, Fidel Wari? So good to watch. And it's a good win. Good win to have on his resume. Masna is no mud. Well experienced as well. And now Fidel Wari, I have heard now Fidel Wari's team are in talks to fight American for WBC belt, WBC world title. I think that's the fight Fidel Wari wins for me. I think he wins that fight. I think that's the fight I told for, wasn't it? I think that's the fight I told for in the preview as well for Fidel Wari next. So, yeah, Fidel Wari for me, he's done be a world champion. I think he will win that fight if that fight does get made next, in my personal opinion. I think Fidel Wari is that good. I really do. And, yeah, a beautiful shutout performance from Fidel Wari. So good to watch. Absolutely joy to watch. Great boxing performance from Fidel Wari. And finally, the final fight on this card was Denzel Bentley stopping Entry Saavedra to win the WBA World Interim Middleweight title. An absolute spiteful finish. It was a spiteful finish from Bentley. It was a very close fight. It was a very close fight until it was a very close fight until that stoppage for me. Because I thought I had it level, to be fair. Saavedra was no mud in the fight. But when Denzel Bentley finally had his hands done, it was game over for Saavedra, wasn't it? It was spiteful with his punches, Bentley. And when he get his hands done, that was that for me. That was that. In terms of what next for Denzel Bentley, I actually think he should actually already be elevated. He should be elevated to be our champion for me. Because we're waiting on Janabek, the radio silence from Janabek after he failed his drugs test. And for me, And for me, we shouldn't be waiting. I'm sick of this in boxing now. I feel sorry for Denzel Bentley and Tabiel waiting to get their title shots. For me, they shouldn't be waiting. Janabek should be stripped off his belts. He failed the touch test. Punish him now. You need to punish him. And Denzel Bentley should be either be elevated to world champion or fighting for that title. I'm just sick of it in boxing now. I am sick of it. I think it's an absolute joke how Janabek has not been punished and not been stripped of the belts, in my opinion, after failing the judge tests. So, Saavedra, he'll come again. He won't be a bad opponent for he won't be a bad gatekeeper for someone, will he? He'll be a good test for one of these upcoming middleweights as well. And for me, Denzel Bentley, hopefully, will fight for the world title or be elevated world champion, in my opinion. Elsewhere, we move over to boxing now. We saw Roman Price outpoint Oriental's challenger Stephanie Pinheiro over 10 action-packed rounds. Roman Price definitely won the fight for me. He definitely still won the fight quite comfortably, but it was action-packed. Pinheiro did task Roman Price a few times, but Roman Price was too quick, too slick for her. Roman Price for me, very talented, so good. She's very good to watch. She's a brilliant boxer to watch, Roman Price. I feel she needs to boxer for me. I think she needs to boxer, progress with her career, give her the big fights. I don't have any faith in boxer to give her the fights she deserves. Yeah, people say, well, we saw a face-off with Roman Price and Twister Shields. That is a nonsense fight. That is an absolute nonsense fight. That shouldn't be happening, in my opinion. Twister Shields would need to jump down weight divisions to fight Roman Price. And Twister Shields has been up the weight divisions. She's now at heavyweight. And now she will need to come back down to fight, 160 potentially? To try and make it fair. I think the better fight for Twister Shields, for me, the better fight for Twister Shields will be Mattea Mayer. Mattea Mayer, she got speed at super welterweight, and I think Twister Shields come down to middleweight. I don't think it's that much using that watch. It's still a lot using them pounds. But she will be training hard as well, Twister Shields. I do not want to see Shields versus Price personally. I really don't. I think the Mattea Mayer fight makes sense for both fighters. In my personal opinion, whether it's Mattea Mayer versus Norman Price, whether it's Mattea Mayer versus Twister Shields, they're the only fights that make sense. Norman Price versus Twister Shields does not make sense at all. Norman Price is out of weight division for me. She's out of weight division. That is a natural fit for her. I do not see Norman Price stepping up in weight divisions for me, in my personal opinion. So you're just wasting our time. And if Norman Price versus Twister Shields does get made, Twister Shields wins for me. Despite Twister Shields would be jumping down weight divisions. Because, again, it's a bit like Caroline Dubois for Norman Price. But Norman Price has faced the likes of Chester Metasto, Natasha Jonas. So at least Norman Price has beaten someone on their resume, unlike Caroline Dubois. And but for me, I do not want to see that Price versus Shields fight. I really don't. I just think it's too big of a step up for Price personally. But Mattea Mayer, I think that's the right fight for me for Norman Price. Elsewhere on the boxer card, once again, the judge says an absolute draw once again, as we saw Reese Edwards versus Dudley Power ending a controversial draw. The stuffs and star cards for me, I had Power winning eight of the rounds for me. He outboxed Edwards for me. It looked like Power's style was all one for Reese Edwards, in my personal opinion, which was a shock to me because I thought Reese Edwards would win. I thought it'd be a close fight. I did think it would be a close fight, but I thought Reese Edwards would edge it. But at the end of the day, it looks like Reese Edwards was gifted a decision by being gifted a draw against Dewey Power. Dewey Power was completely robbed in that fight. And for me, that there needs to be a rematch between these two. We can't leave it on the draw. We can't leave it on the draw, obviously. So elsewhere, early today, we saw Tim Tszyu dominate Dennis Nurture over 10 rounds in Australia, which was expected, wasn't it? It was all about how Tim Tszyu wins, isn't it? And he won by comfortable unanimous decision. And now Tim Tszyu is told for the Errol Spence Jr. fight next. Errol Spence Jr., who's not been active since that defeat to Terence Crawford. So I'm not really interested in that fight. You would have to favour Tim Tszyu. You have to favour Tim Tszyu in that fight just with the activeness. But there then, is Tim Tszyu at Errol Spence level? Probably not. So I'm a bit 50-50 on that fight, really, whether I want to see it or not. I personally want to see Tim Tszyu continue to fight in middleweight, even fight for a middleweight world title potentially, because there should be an opportunity there for him. Because the middleweight division is not a great division, is it? Let's be real. It's not a good division at all. A well past Eswandiara is now the best boxer in the middleweight division. Now Carlos Saddam has done up to super middleweight and it's radio science with Yanabek as well. So I had to see Tim Tszyu fight at middleweight. Errol Spence Jr., I think he needs a couple warm-up fights to get him back in the game for me. I think, but there then, with Errol Spence being that inactive, I think he only wants the big fights, doesn't he? So, yeah, I'm a bit, do I really want to see that fight personally? I would make Tim Tszyu favourite in terms of activeness, but there then, in terms of boxing skills, you'd probably say Errol Spence Jr. is probably favourite. So, let me know down below in the comments when you watch this on Cable. Would you like to see that fight between Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence Jr.? Elsewhere, obviously on the same card, we saw Sam Dudman get the W of Rodrigo Ruiz in a cracking IBF Super Bantamweight title in there. Rodrigo Ruiz caused a few problems, didn't he? For Sam Dudman, he did clip him a few times. Rodrigo Ruiz, but Sam Dudman still got the win for me. Definitely the right winner, in my opinion, once he adapted Sam Dudman. And the current IBF Super Bantamweight champion is Noah Inoue. I do not see that fight happening between Dudman and Inoue. I know Dudman will want that fight because he didn't get to fight Inoue, did he? Because he had an injury, I think, which pulled him out. But Inoue is currently busy at the moment. Obviously, start of May, he's going to fight Junto Nakatani which is the biggest fight in Japan. 2 pound stars don't up against each other. So I actually think, why not put Sam Dudman on that card? Actually, it might be a bit too early. Yeah, actually, it might be a bit too early. Now I said that. But why not put Sam Dudman against Marlon Tavares? I think that's the fight to make next for me. I think that's the right step up for Dudman. Tough fight for Dudman. Definitely a tough fight. But it's definitely a fight he can definitely win, in my opinion. It'll be a good pit and fight between the two of them. So yeah. Obviously, yesterday we saw Rene Santiago defeat Masataka Tanadutsi by unanimous decision to defend his unified WBA and WBO junior flyweight world titles. It was expected, wasn't it? We expected that. We all expected a comfortable unanimous decision victory in the preview for Rene Santiago, who chopped him with a lovely counter right, and he bossed his ears off, didn't he, in the second half of the fight as well. So a dominant victory by unanimous decision for Rene Santiago, and the next fight for him, for me, should be a unification fight for me, with one of the champions. In my opinion, that's what should be next for him. And finally, we go on to the Pat Brown card, where we saw Pat Brown stop for Denotay in round 8, a very tough opponent in terms of his chin. For me, I thought it was a good performance from Pat Brown. It was a lovely left hand work in the first 2 rounds from Pat Brown, and he brought the power into play for the knockdowns later on in the fight when the writing was on the wall for the tough Fasil Denotay for me. And I like Pat Brown. I really do. I think he's very honest. He's very honest afterwards. He does not want to be watched, and rightly so. Even Pat Brown's honest. He doesn't want to be watched at all. And I do think the fight to make next is Sean Headses. I know Pat Brown said, well, you had your chance to him after the fight. But I think that's the fight to make next for me. Pat Brown versus Sean Headses. I think that's the right step up next for Pat Brown and the fight to make next for me. Elsewhere, we saw Robbie Coleman defeat Josh Berntieren in the Northern Title 3 rematch. Obviously, in an incredible rematch, wasn't it? By majority decision. I had Berntieren winning on my scorecard, personally. But again, it was one of them. It was a close fight. You can't argue with it, don't either way. But I personally edged it to Berntieren for me. Great fight, absolute great fight, and it sets up the trilogy, doesn't it, between the two of them? I know Berntieren was meant to face Joe Howard before Joe Howard pulled out, but now I think we should get the trilogy on between these two, and it'd be amazing to see these two in the trilogy. Is it a main event trilogy? Probably not. So it'd probably be on the card to probably Pat Brown's next fight. Why not? I say, why not? Why not have Pat Brown versus John Heads as a main event, and Coleman versus Berntieren trilogy fight? Perfect. That's already hard sorted. That's what Matchroom would be talking through, in my opinion. So yeah, I do think Bobby Coleman was fortunate to get the decision personally, but I can't argue with it. It was that close of a fight, wasn't it? It was an incredible rematch from the two of them. Elsewhere, we saw William Collier store spectacular come from behind 1-punch knockout win over Ken Byrne in Alton. Collier was down 4 times, but pulls it out the bad with a massive left hand in round 7. For me, William Collier, was very lucky that he was allowed to continue in the fight after being knocked down 4 times. If that was someone else, the fight would already be waved off for being knocked down 4 times. I think this win papers over the tracks for William Collier. I think it papers over the tracks. I think his career is already finished in boxing. When he steps up, when William Collier steps up, well, this was even a step up, wasn't it? When William Collier eventually will step up against someone, he will get beat. And he will get comfortably beaten as well. I think we saw a lot of cracks in William Collier in these last couple of fights. And I actually think William Collier should actually retire, in my opinion. No, I am. I am saying that. I know people will be like, that's a bit harsh on the back of a win. But can you see him getting any better unless he changes his team? And we saw it with Campbell Hatton. This is what I'm saying. When you're fighting under a shadow of Anti Collier, for example, that William Collier is, it's going to be hard to give up that expectation. And the same boxer as him. We saw it with Campbell Hatton, and at least with Campbell Hatton, he decided to retire, didn't he? He decided to retire, and fair play to him. Fair play to Campbell Hatton. I think he might be coming back. I see. The rumours he might be coming back to boxing, and I think William Collier needs to have an honest conversation with himself because he's not looked good in these last couple of fights. And people say, "Oh, what are you on about? You got a knockout win here." Yeah, but he was knocked down 4 times. He was knocked down 4 times. He has been real. And if anything, I think Ken Byrne was robbed in this fight of a win. If William Qualler got knocked down 8 times, William Qualler would still be out to fight. So you do need to start questioning what's going on in boxing at the moment. Like, it's all over the place. Like, it's with the scorecards, or whether being allowed to continue to fight after being knocked down 4 times. When in other fights, I've seen in other fights, if you get knocked down 4 times, the fight's over and it's waved off. So having William Qualler, for me, actually should retire. I think it's just another Tambo Hatton for me, where Matchroom hyped him up because of his name. I even think Conor Benn. It's the same with Conor Benn, isn't it? Same with Conor Benn. Conor Benn has no boxing skills, but because of his name, he's got a lot of money now, Conor Benn. And he beat Trent Huband. It's just the names now, ain't it? That's why Matchroom are hyping them up, because of the names. Have you actually seen them fight? I don't think they have. But credit to Campbell Hatton, though. In terms of Campbell Hatton, like, he knew he had to retire because it just wasn't for him. So, yeah, for me, I think William Qualler needs to do the same. He needs to retire as well. Otherwise, he will get beat in his next step-up fight, in my personal opinion. And talking about someone who probably has been overhyped, especially by Everything Boston on Twitter, that's Jordan Thompson. After he used his French journeyman, David Spillman. David Spillman comes off the canvas, stopped Jordan Thompson round 7. Massive shock. Yeah, it was a massive shock in Nottingham, because we all expected Jordan Thompson to deal with this journeyman, and does not look good. Does not look good for Jordan Thompson, does it? Getting stopped like that from a journeyman as well. And again, big question marks about Jordan Thompson's career now, because I was really looking forward to seeing him at heavyweight. I really was. I was really looking forward to seeing him at heavyweight. But now, I don't know where he does now, to be honest with you. I really don't see where he does, Jordan Thompson. Has he lost his punch persistence? Probably. After that Chai Tire knocked out. But again, there was no shame using Chai Tire, who is one of the best boxers in the world. But this is quite an embarrassing defeat for him. He was getting stopped by a journeyman like that. And I don't know where Jordan Thompson does, to be honest with you. I really don't. So, but yeah. But that is my boxing review to the Wilder Chisora card, the Tim Tszyu card, the Pat Brown card, and the John Price card as well. So feel free to leave your thoughts on every fight I spoke about down below in the comments. And I will be back tomorrow for another boxing review, which will be to the Townline Dubois Terry Harper card. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all in the next one, as Deontay Wilder beats David Chisora in a slugfest Brawl split decision, in which proves to be David Chisora's final fight in boxing.